We are back here on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar Experience over there at www.jiggyjaguar.com. We've got a great guest with us today joining us on Skype. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend, and then we'll talk a little bit about why you're here.
All right, Jimmy, my lad, Lenny King, all the way from Orlando, Florida. Just love the field of hair fashion. I've been involved in the industry for years. I want to say 33 now. Every aspect.
Well, I'll tell you, judging by everything there, your hair, and the background with the wigs and everything, you do have an interest in hair fashion. Talk to me a little bit about this, how'd this get started for you and everything, man?
If you want to go all the way back, I went to college. I was an art major, my friend, and just loved everything to do with art, fashion, and all things cultural. And so, as a result of pursuing an education in art degree, I wanted to be an art teacher. I thought they were the coolest people on the planet, by the way. And when I was in college, I ended up cutting a few buddies' hair, including my own. That's how I got started. And a few people said, "Hey, you got a knack for this." But I love to sculpt, and so it was a pretty easy transition. And I found I made a little bit of cash while I was in college, so that was pretty cool.
Now, Leonard, talk to me a little bit about the way that fashion and everything these days is viewed. I know that it is a huge, huge business. Talk to me a little bit about the evolution and everything that you've seen so far.
Throwing a little bit of the evolution at you, everything that I've seen in this industry, nothing that ever, there's nothing new under the sun, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
But what we keep seeing is with designers, fashion designers, they will actually pull from seasons past and histories past. If you'll look at the way they set up, the way they design per season, it's quite an amazing thing. You'll take somebody like Jean-Paul Gaultier or somebody from Christian Lacroix, one of the designers there, and they'll come up with something that's called avant-garde. Avant-garde means forward focus or looking in vision for the future.
Yeah.
And these young men and women will take a concept and idea based off of culture, based off the times, based off the technology, and they culminate it all together to create what we know as fashion. And hair follows fashion. I know a lot of hairdressers in the industry. They're pretty... they love to think that fashion follows hair, but it doesn't work that way. It's our industry, and we love every aspect of it. But true designers actually create the way you're going to paint your house this season, the way you're going to decorate it. They paint the car. They design concepts for the car that you're going to buy. It spills over into all aspects of our culture, what these designers and these forerunners do. And the way I like to break it down, my friend, is you look at avant-garde. Avant-garde is that future vision. Those are your visionaries.
Yeah.
Those are the designers that'll take the newest material, and they'll put it together in a concept, based on what they've pulled together as far as what they see culturally happening. And sometimes borrowing from history's past as well as history's present. And then you have what we call, there's three phases of it. After avant-garde and the designer gets the vision, then he passes it down and it becomes what we call contemporary. Now, contemporary is basically means present. It means in the present, what's going on now. So you'll take, let's say, for instance, John Galliano for Christian Lacroix. And he'll create a form-fitting bodice. He'll create an asymmetrical top line with a big shoulder pad, a long train in some form of metallic, material that's brand new to the industry. And he'll create the color scheme that goes with it. And then you'll see it walk down the runway. And my friend, I'm going to tell you, in all of my travels, I have never, ever, ever seen one of those beautiful gowns, except on Lady Gaga and a few other extraordinaires, walking down a runway or a red carpet wearing those things. But you see, what happens is they're so far ahead in their vision that now it'll trickle into what we call contemporary. And contemporary is where you'll find it in Nordstrom's, and you'll find fashions forward people picking up on that trend. And it may not be, a full evening gown with a long train and all of the big shoulder pad and all of that cool thing.
Yeah.
But what you will find is a nice asymmetrical line, a form-fitting bodice with maybe a baby doll front or back in that same color scheme that he was designing. And that's where you'll start to see it go retail. Then from there, it trickles down to what we call consumer. And consumer is where you'll find other like Macy's and Dillard's and a few
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
places will take a runoff and a spin-off of that with the asymmetrical line, the form-fitting bodices being cut in, and we call consumer is what's known as the end user. So the consumers are the last ones to pick it up, usually when it's that far advanced in a trend. One of my favorite lines, my friend, is from The Devil Wears Prada, where she mentions,
Yes,
you know
indeed.
the movie, right? She'll throw on that, she refers to it as that so-called stuff, she said. And she goes through the whole evolution where she talks about, the belt that was created in vermilion by, John Paul Galliano. And as a result of that, it trickled down to that blue frock you thought you chose from your closet. You can match this up by, I like to do a little test. Go to Pantone. Have you ever heard of Pantone?
Yes, yes, I've heard of it. I'm not very familiar with it, but I've heard of it.
Well, Pantone is the color company that kind of decides from what the designers are choosing in their lines as far as color schemes, and they'll pick like the number 1, number 2, number 3 colors that are going to be for the year. And not only will you see, couches and pillows and cars and restaurants being painted in those color schemes, but it is so spot on that it literally changes and helps you to choose that silly blue frock out of your closet, if you will.
So kind of delve into that a little bit more. How do they decide some of these colors and things? Because that sounds like such an interesting deal. Is there a method to this, or?
A method to the madness.
Yes.
See, if you knew that, you'd become one of those famous designers as well. But again, taking from culture, taking from all aspects of where we draw our influences.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes from the streets of London, streets of New York, what the color schemes they're wearing. And my brother, you could go into an entire episode just on color and how it affects our lives. Blues are very soothing.
Yeah.
Greens mean energy, new life. Anytime right before an election, you always see a little bit more drama happening in fashion. So you'll see deeper, darker, richer colors. And each color has its own effect on our personal lives. Whether it's red for energy, whether it's yellow for warmth, whether it's name a color and it's got a full scientific background behind it.
Well, I see a lot of Paul Mitchell products there in the background. Kind of explain to me your history with Paul Mitchell.
My history with Paul Mitchell, I've supported them since I first saw the man, Paul Mitchell, on stage.
Yep.
Now, the young man that you see with the ponytail, who also owns Patron, by the way, great former boss to have. But I had worked for the company. I had supported the company for the last 21 years of owning my own business. Yeah. And about 14 years ago, I found out that they had a new color line. And, I'm a coloraholic. I'll have color in my nails. Even when I'm rocking it out in my coffin, brother, I'm going to be having color under my nails because that's just the way it is. By the way, I'm 80% gray, but you'll never know it.
I'll never know it. No, and neither will the viewers. They you look like you're like 25.
My new best friend, just to let you know that. That's pretty cool. I'm almost triple that, so life is good.
Now, talk to me a little bit here about your background as far as working with models and things of that nature. You mentioned various fashion things that you've done in the past. You have some cool stuff. Tell me about some of the people you've worked with.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of history as far as this industry goes. Working with Paul Mitchell again for the last 14 years and having the opportunity of traveling worldwide, I was had the explicit pleasure of launching Paul Mitchell's Color all throughout the UK. I did 3 10-city tours, and we went city by city, and it was magical, all the way from Brighton all the way up to Manchester and then up into Scotland, and very magical time. Launching the hair color and teaching some of the new Paul Mitchell techniques has really sent me around the planet. I also had the opportunity of delivering it over to China, and I did a few city tours over there as well. Germany, Switzerland, Amsterdam, Canada, Brazil, kind of all over the place. But having the opportunity of working with the hair show models, we do hair shows. Pretty much, I think the best in the industry is what Paul Mitchell offers as far as that goes. But I'm now retired from them, seeing that I am pushing my third set of 20s here, and just no regrets, loving every aspect of it. But when you talk about some of the people that I've worked on, Miss America, Tara Dawn Holland, having the opportunity of working with Miss World USA, as far as some of the more notables, Badass Billy Gunn from the WWF fighters back in the day. I think one of my favorite opportunities that I had, I was the one of the head hairdressers on All That. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Wow, really?
Fresh out the box. It's time for all that.
Now, you've had some amazing amazing stuff you've done. Fill us in here a little bit on what goes on, because I know that you've done some fashion shows and things in the past. What is that like backstage? Because I've heard that it's chaotic. It's a whirlwind. As a hairdresser, designer, and everything that you work with. What is that like backstage for someone like you?
Well, at all different levels, it's completely different at different levels. If you're talking about basic runway, you normally will start out with a storyboard. So for all the young listeners that are listening that want to get into editorial work, you have to start with a storyboard, meaning come up with your concept. Begin with the end in mind, if you will. Anytime you begin with the end in mind, your feet will walk toward that goal. And things that I've learned is preparation. You have to prepare. You have to know the tools you're working with, the type of looks that you want to complete and create a cohesion amongst the story. Again, working with the designers, they'll always have the story of what they're looking for. Is it going to be a little bit more avant? Is it going to be a little more contemporary, a little more consumer? Is it going to be a little bit what we call hair show hair? Hair show hair is the pada. I mean, it was the bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. You've got to create editorial looks that you normally wouldn't see walking through the mall on a Sunday afternoon, if you know what I mean. So once you have your storyboard, life is pretty easy from there. When I say at different levels, there's been opportunities where I've had to actually choreograph models, choreograph dance routines, set up multimedia presentations, do all the hair backstage, make sure the models have their incredible wardrobe and costumes on, and then go out on stage. After all that, well, the sweat's just running right down to your armpits. And get out in front of God and everybody and make it sound like, and make it look like never let them see a sweat. You know what I'm saying?
Now, working with some of the people that you've worked with, what's been some of the different feedback and things you've gotten from folks? Because you've worked with a heck of a lot of the big names, as you mentioned earlier.
Well, just working with, when I was working on All That, they had quite a cast of characters that came by. We had Shaquille O'Neal. He was a regular. He loved to come by quite a bit. I worked with Sinbad. What a great guy he is. Working with a lot of the different bands, Naughty by Nature, Jeanne, who else was there? Monica was there. Brandy was there. One of my favorite characters was Coolio. He was he was a trip there and back. That was a lot of fun. And the feedback from I guess you'd say people that have high profile.
Yep.
It's one of the most favorite places to be, Jimmy, as far as like backstage or in the hair and makeup room. Because there was one time when we were working on one of our shows, and who comes in to assess and take a peek was, the Billionaire Boys Club. First one that walked in with his family entourage was Mr. Steven Spielberg.
Wow.
Second one was Geffen, and then also Jeffrey Katzenberg. And when these guys came in, let me tell you, when $1 billion walks in the room, the air changes. It's just, the atmosphere kind of changes. It's a little tingly, if you know what I mean. But what I would have to say is any of the feedback, they always hang out in hair and makeup because it is the coolest place to be. It's where the actors and the principals are very relaxed. Having the opportunity of working with Keenan and Kel from Bullwinkle fame, and of course Snakes on a Plane back in the day, Good Burger, the Mighty Ducks. Keenan was involved in, and now he's one of the regulars on Saturday Night Live. To give Keenan a call and see how he's doing up there.
Now, you have a lot of other projects. Tell us about some of the new stuff you're working on.
Well,
Because I know
after,
you're always busy, so.
Oh, I'm like Eddie Murphy. I'm always doing something. I got business going here, business going there. It's just life is for the living, my friend. You know, if I have the opportunity to share in anything with our young viewers, life is for the living, and it's all about proactivity. Because you know that my favorite commercial is the one that says, "A body in rest seems to stay in rest. A body in motion seems to stay in motion." That's how I keep my youthful vigor and my girlish figure, if you don't mind.
Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people asking, how do we get a hold of you online? Is there a website? Is there social media? Anything like that?
Lenny King on social media is probably the best because, you know, as far as the branding, now that I've been off the road for close to a year, all I wanted to do for a year was play a little bit of music. So I'm involved in a couple of different bands right now. So I'm always checking
That's cool.
On Facebook because of, you know, some of the things that I have going. Besides the music career right now, I am working on my own product line. After traveling to China and seeing some of the most amazing herb mixes that they put together, I mean, they rub your head till you see Jesus, brother. I'm just
I love
over
it.
there, and it's usually done with some kind of organic compound that either heal you or steal your heart, one or the other. You know? Some good stuff.
Now,
so playing around with some product mixes right now.
That's really cool.
Also working on an online educational because now that I'm home, you really can't see it from where you're at. But I'm sitting. Let's see if I can give a little. Do you mind if I walk around?
Hey, whatever you got to do there. We got like 5 minutes left. Let's make it entertaining for folks.
This little room right here is known as our wash house. I don't know.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Showing, but it's private. The doors closed. I have candles lit, and it's an amazing experience. I had the opportunity of staying at Angus Mitchell, the owner of Paul Mitchell. And
that is really cool. And it's well decorated. It's cool. That is a really cool place, man.
I don't know what we're seeing, but 4,000 square feet of Lenny's Playhouse. What I like to do.
Good God, that is like a hairdresser's dream. Look at that.
It's kind of where I live. It's my home away from home, if you don't mind.
My God!
I don't know if you can see the girls.
Yes, they're very interesting. I do like the hairstyles there. That's pretty cool.
Little bit of a line up there. I don't know if you're getting a good
Look
shot.
At that! Look at that! Good stuff, my friend. You got a lot of unique styles and all sorts of different things there. My Lord, this is absolutely amazing. Good Lord, how big is that place?
The place is over 4,000 square feet. And as we're walking through, and I still don't know what I'm showing you, if I'm getting.
Well, we're getting a shot of everything: the wigs, the walls, the colors. You've got a lot of stuff in there.
Here's a private little room in the back where after you have your hair color on,
you
come sit in massage chairs. Instead of sitting in the front window, I don't sell people, I sell magic in this place. So,
look at that. I don't sell people, I sell magic. That is awesome. That ought to be on a T-shirt.
And that's my training room in the back. Those are all the he's that help me design.
Good Lord, you got all these. You got a lot of stuff in there, my friend. You must get a discount on heads. Good Lord.
Heads. I get a little head every now and then.
There you go.
That's my boss right
Look
there.
at that.
Love the man.
Look at that.
Miss America.
Paul Mitchell in the building. All that. Good Lord. You have got.
I got a few accolades going.
You got a few little accolades, a few little treasures there, my friend.
Past the kitchen.
Good God. Look at this.
And then in the back, I've got a private changing room. So, yeah, life is good for me, brother.
Life is fantastic for you, my friend. This has been kind of cool. Just kind of get a good little glimpse into your world. That is awesome.
When you reflect on the past, I just wish if you can see some of the shows that I've been at where I've had to have the backstage passes.
Yes.
That's just a few that I brought home.
Those are interesting. You got a lot of laminates there, my friend.
Lots of lanyards. This was my jam last night. I just kind of came from the club and dropped everything.
And you got a djembe there. That's awesome.
Yellow malawele, like a little djembe. Got a full toolbar, anything you'd ever need.
Good
we always like to
God, anything that this is just amazing. Great little tour here.
Dizzy, laddie? Are you getting dizzy?
We're getting a lot of information here in a heck of a lot of time. It's good stuff, my friend.
Excellent. I think I'll finish the interview with the little Scotsman, if you don't mind. Hey, lovely.
Well,
All right, brother.
but before we let you go, what's next for you as a hairdresser and artist and everything here?
Well, like I said, I'm putting together because of all the things that I've done. Whoa.
Look at that. We still got you, baby. We still got you.
Lord, help a brother out. Where are we at here? Oh, I'm starting to...
I love it. It's live radio, and I love every minute of it. This is good stuff.
All right, so working on a little bit of online stuff, having some fun with that as far as the education, because, again, I love to create. And,
yeah.
And one last little note for you, because I know we only have a couple of minutes.
Yes.
But, I also like to play around and create some different effects. So if I could take 1 second just to show you if I could pull them out of the...
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. What are you doing? My God!
If I could get myself
Look
ready
at this. You look like Jack Sparrow or somebody.
Parts of the Caribbean, mate.
Good God! This is why we do the Skype interviews. Because... Jesus Christ.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff, my friend. Well, before we let you go, how do we find you online?
All right, online it would be www.salonzion.com, which is
yes.
Lake Mountain. And then also through Facebook, Lenny King. Look me up and take a look at the adventure, because life is still pouring it out, so I'm going to still pour in.
Well,
appreciate the time,
I appreciate you being with us today. We've got another guest waiting on the line, so I'm going to let you go, my friend, but we'll talk soon. I appreciate it.
Great. Have a great season holiday, and mind the rum.
Thank you,